F out of you. And I'm just like,
hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Yolanda. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys my story time of how I almost got into a fight at work. Okay, so I know, crazy, right? At work, it was 11 p.m. It's too late for to be dealing with that. But if you really want to know, please be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up and subscribe down below. And for everybody who's going on in this video. Okay, so currently as I'm going to give this video, I'm going to be doing my hair. But basically this all started like December-ish time, maybe even January, I don't know. I think it was like January or February was when this happened. So when I first went to this job, I remember I was so excited. The pay was really good. It's the most I've ever been paid, to be honest. So I was like, okay, the people there are nice. I made sure it was a far distance to, like, you know, and be people from my school, because I had an incident where at one of my jobs, one of my friends that I knew at school had told such the manager, and it kind of made me a certain way, but it was just like, that's just things about my personal life for real. And I'm just like, so be careful working with people that you know. But that's another story. I remember just like when I came in, the best way to describe this girl was that she was a force. Okay, she wasn't one, definitely not to be, like, you know, reckoned with. And the thing was just like, you know, I asked, you know, a lot of people were just like, oh, you know, don't pay her no attention, this and that, like she's just always like this. A lot of people would be like, oh yeah, she's bipolar. I don't know if she was ever really diagnosed to that, but she would switch up real quickly. Like one moment she can be happy, the next moment she just like have attitude, wouldn't be like straight up mean to people. And I'm just like that's just so unnecessary. And even during rushes, I remember just like she would just have attitude with the customers, and or she would just act really unprofessional. That's what other coworkers said. That's what eventually my manager did say. My manager knew, but like I guess at the time she didn't want to like have to go through the whole process of hiring someone else. It just got to that point where eventually, you know, she was fired. But yeah, so remember there was one night, I was still kind of new, but I was kind of getting the hang of it. It was like a month in that I was working here. And I remember literally like I'd always clean the bathrooms, right? I'd always get the mop, I would clean the bathrooms, and I'd make my way all the way down to the dining room area. And I remember this one particular day I was working with her, she was doing the juices, right? And so then she was just like, don't mop the bathrooms, and I'm just like, why? She's like, just don't mop them. And I'm just like, okay, first of all, like knowing how her whole history of it, I was like, okay, I'm just still gonna do it, because it's like I'm trying to go home at the end of the day. If she's not gonna explain why, I guess it's not important, right? And then I mop it, and then she has this whole scene, and she's like, oh, you should have not mopped, and yada yada yada. And then she goes to my other coworker in the middle of like literally closed, and it's like 10 at night, going to 11 p.m, right? And then she goes talking to her, and she's just like, you know, like, you know, I told you like to not mop over there, this and that. And then she explained it to her. Then I came over, and I'm just like, oh well, if you explained it the same way that you told her, this wouldn't be a problem. Because that's one thing about her, she'll like try to tell you stuff, but like don't explain it. And I'm just like, how do you expect me to know? And she's wanted to be like, oh yeah, I was just thrown into this stuff, I wasn't really trained. Well, my experience was different. Like, you know, I was trained, but like still, like it takes me a little bit of time to grasp the stuff, like any new person into a new job, right? And I remember after that she just got pissed and stuff like that, and then she went to the back. I kept on cleaning and mopping my area, because at the end of the day I'm trying to go home, right? It's getting real late. Then she tries going to my manager for that day, and it was this guy, and he was like, oh, she was telling him all this stuff, like, oh yeah, like Yolanda was doing this and that. And I remember he just came up because he thought that, like, you know, I was like being really mean to her. And I think the reason why she had went to him is because we were going through the door, and it was a moment like where I was going in, she was going out, and then we accidentally bumped, and then that's what riled her up. She went to him, that's when she started like telling him the whole situation, like, oh yeah, Yolanda is this and that and all this kind of stuff, when I've always been nice to this girl. I've always kept it cordial, because I always never wanted to mess with her like this, because I know how she's like. I know what I heard from other people, and just anybody got time for it this late, right? So then basically he comes to the front, he talks about, he's just like, y'all, it's just like, you know, basically let's just get itself together. And then he calls my coworker that the girl had went to, and he calls her to the back and she asks, and then that's in the situation, that's when he realizes that like it's that girl who's the problem overall situation. But that wasn't until later in the night that he figured it out. But basically we keep on cleaning, and then she just talks out loud about it, and I'm like, okay, like I'm really like, I didn't have my AirPods at the time, so I'm just like, I'm not trying to hear this. So then I told the girl, I was just like, okay, like if you had explained it to me, like at the end of the day, like, and then she's like, oh, I don't like you. I was like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you like me or not, or it doesn't matter if I like you, like you got to keep it cordial. And then she was just like, and then I was just like, if you just would have explained it to me that way, then this wouldn't even be a problem in the first place. And she was like, girl, this and that. And then basically comes up and she's basically like, oh, how I'm gonna beat the F out of you. And I'm just like, girl. So then I don't say that loud, but like I go up and I talked to my friend, and she went to go tell the other guy, and then like it was like this whole thing. I finished mopping, then I went to go tell him. By this point she had already left. Eventually nothing really happened with the manager, because he was like, oh yeah, like, you know, he asked me what happened, I told the situation, she was like, oh yeah, that's how that girl is. And then I was just like, it's like literally everybody knows how she's like, and they still do nothing about her, because like it's like everybody's like kind of catering and just like, you know, being okay with it. But honestly, if it's like the whole staff having a problem with her, then maybe she got to go then, right? And so then basically like he's just like, oh, I'll try to schedule you without her. And then one day I got scheduled and I saw I was with her, but before that had happened, I realized I was scheduled with her. My friend was talking about it to this other manager, and then she's who told my main general manager, and then basically my main manager was aware of it. And then by that point I was
okay. So I didn't realize that it had cut off, but basically all in all, I was to say that after that situation, after that point, my manager didn't really fire her, but there was this other incident that was really huge that eventually just like, it was a third strike, it gotta go. But yeah, that's pretty much the story. Nothing, I mean, like it was interesting, but also it's just like, you know, luckily nothing serious, but like still like something could have went down if I could have provoked it more, but thank goodness no. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace, already out.